Hey guys, Mike Siciliano here. You're consuming another episode of Self-Boss Marketing Tips. Today's concept is how to design a landing page that is geared around conversion. So your landing page is the only thing separating the consumer from your business. So it's very important that you build it correctly and you build it in a way that the consumer is more likely to get in touch with your business rather than just leave the landing page after you've spent money to acquire that customer or after they found you through an organic channel. The purpose here is just to add value to your marketing mix. So I'm gonna kind of lay out exactly how the landing page should look. Whether you're making this landing page through a third-party platform or whether it's living on your website and it's attached to your website, this general design will work. It will increase your conversion rates. Keep in mind, if you're developing the landing page on your website as part of your website, it adds a lot more value because you're also able to optimize for SEO. When it's attached to your website, the meta keywords, the on-page components, they all play into your organic visibility in the Google search results. So if you're gonna develop the page on your website as part of your website, probably the best case scenario, but if you need to develop it through a third party because you don't have a website or you're not a developer and you're not quite sure how to code or how to develop a page from scratch, then go ahead, use a third party. Either way, the general layout here is what is going to convert your user into a lead or funnel that user into your sales process, because the landing page should be doing one of two things. It should either convert the user so that you have money in your pocket, or it should move the user into your sales process so that you can get in touch and initiate the first point of contact. So to start talking about the general layout for your landing page, I need to first talk about the fold. What is the fold? The fold is what the user sees when they first get to your website or to your landing page. The fold is what's visible when the page first loads on a device viewport. So for a desktop, the fold may be somewhere around here, and this is what the user will see on their screen when they get to your website or your landing page. On a mobile device, the fold is a little bit lower, so it's more of a vertical layout. So on a mobile device, your fold might be down here. This is what the user is gonna see when they land on your page. The first thing is the correct messaging within this landing page. So your message matters. The message needs to be relevant to the content that was in the ad or in the organic search snippet that the user saw when they first interacted with your business, when they first clicked. So this needs to be relevant. A lot of times I see marketers put a contact form first and foremost right at the top of the page. Think about it. If you're a user and you land on a page and all you see is a contact form without any sort of information about the product or the service that you're expecting to see, you're probably gonna leave because it looks like a scam. It looks like someone is trying to draw you in and get your information because they have an alternate agenda. So what I've found to work the best is to have a message that's relevant at the top followed by some sort of button that they can press that brings them down the page to a contact form. So this button, when it's pressed, brings the user all the way down the page below the fold to a contact form. And on that contact form, you want to limit it to 5 fields. Anything more than 5 fields, they're not going to want to give you that much information. They're going to get frustrated and they're going to leave. So if we can limit it to 5 fields, it's less that the user has to do to get in touch with you. The less the user has to do, the better. So those 5 fields, we'll go ahead and do name. We'll go ahead and do phone number, of course, email address, and then we'll go ahead and do just a message box. So we'll do a message box at the bottom. And the reason why I always include a message box is because a user that is trying to get in touch with you, they have something to say. They have a need and they want to tell you about it. So give them a message box and let them say what they need to say. Plus, it gives you more information before you pick up the phone and talk to them. It allows you to connect at a higher level for your initial point of contact. So great. This form is going to live at the bottom of the page. The way that you hook up this Let's Talk button to your contact form so that when the user hits the Let's Talk button and it automatically scrolls them down, you're going to put what's called an ID. The ID is going to go on this contact form itself, and it's very simple. You're going to drop an HTML snippet if you're using a builder for this form whether it's a third party or whether it's your website's visual builder, your visual editor, you're able to drop in a snippet of HTML. So look for that. Usually they use this symbol here for the HTML snippet. Go ahead and drag that in, and you're just gonna put this here, div, okay, ID equals, and then you're gonna put whatever the ID is for your form section, and let's just make our ID form. And then you're gonna close this div out. So we have our div, we have our ID form. Now what you need to do is on the button needs to point somewhere always, whether you're using a third-party builder or whether you're using your visual editor. So you'll see a little space on there. It's either gonna say target, it's gonna say href, whatever it says. Let's say it's href. It's gonna be href equals, and we're gonna put hashtag, and that's how you call an ID, form. Okay, so now when you hit this button, it's going to be looking for the ID of form, and it's going to bring the user down to the bottom of the page. So if the user wants to get in touch with you, they'll be brought to the bottom. Plus, what's great about this is that they'll see there's more content on the page as it scrolls down to the form, and they might go back to try to read it. We want to make it as easy as possible for the user to get in touch with you. Now, the next thing that's important on this page, we need some sort of visual element, whether it lives on your website or whether it's a third party hosting the page. We need a visual element that relates to the primary messaging that the user saw and clicked on prior to landing on the page. So if you're selling a product, have a picture of the product. If you're selling a service, go ahead and show your company in action. Show the user what your company can do. And if you have a place like a restaurant and you're promoting a happy hour, go ahead and have a photo of the bar so that the user knows where they're going. That visual component alone is enough to connect with the user in a way that they'll be willing to give you their contact information. So below this call to action, let's have some sort of content. So we need to have content that lives on this page, whether it's hosted on the website or on a third party. Again, the content needs to be relevant to whatever you're selling. I suggest on a landing page of this magnitude, outline it with bullet points. Bullet points are the best. It allows the user to easily glance over the page, grasp the primary concepts, formulate their own questions, and then get in touch with you to have those questions answered. So we'll do content with relevant keywords and bullet points in the content. Great, so now that we have our content, just below that, we're gonna give the user one more call to action. This call to action is gonna live below the content, above the second section of content that I'll get to, and above the contact form. So it's gonna go right here. This call to action, I suggest making it a different mode of connection that your user has an option to choose from. So if they're filling out a contact form here, or if they're writing you an email here, go ahead and make the next call to action a phone call. Some users like to talk on the phone. They want an immediate response, and some users want to get in touch with you through text. So whether they're an introvert or an extrovert, that's not for you to decide. Give them the option on the landing page. And if you don't have a 24/7 call answering service where either you are personally answering the phones or you have a third party that's answering the phones for you, go ahead and just Google call scheduling software. There's so many of them out there. Now you can link the call to action to your third-party scheduling software. The user will be able to pick a time to speak to you, and all you have to do at that point is pick up the phone and give them a call back. Not the ideal scenario. It's best if they can immediately get you on the phone, but not the end of the world when it comes to conversion. So we'll put our CTA below this section of content. Now, I usually like to break up the page so that there's not too much content in one lump. So take some of this content and move it down below the CTA and above the form so that the user has a little bit more that they can read and learn about your company, product, or service. And remember, this button at the top is bringing the user down to the form automatically, so they don't have to keep scrolling down if they don't want to. Again, it's important that we make it as easy as possible for the user to get in touch with your business. So multiple calls to action on this page is critical to the page's overall performance. And that's it, guys. This is a high converting landing page design, whether you're using a drag and drop editor on a third-party platform, whether you're using your website's visual editor, whether you're gonna code this out, whether you know how to develop, this is a high converting landing page. I've used it, I've tested it. It works much better than any other layout that I've tried. So I implore you to go ahead and give this a try yourself. Funnel your campaigns to it, target users organically through the Google search results, get them to land on this page, and see how it does, see how it converts. But that's it for today's episode. I'm Mike Siciliano. I hope that I added some sort of value to your marketing mix today. Go ahead and subscribe to my channel. Please like, share, comment, engage with my channel. It really does help me. I appreciate it. And tune into my Apple Podcast. You can check out everything on my YouTube channel through the Apple Podcast. Just search Self Boss Marketing Tips. Thanks a lot, guys.